Okay, evaluating expressions is identical to order of operations. The only difference is that when you use the numbers, when they give you a value, you have to use parentheses. Oh, geez, spelled it wrong. After that, you just go ahead and you use PEMDAS, just like we did for order of operations. So we're still following order of operations. So let's go ahead and do a couple examples. So you plug in, so that's the absolute value of A minus B, and then they gave us our values over here. So we're going to plug in A here, and then we're going to plug in B here. So I've got the absolute value of my A is 9 minus B, which is 12, absolute value. Okay, so you have to go within the absolute value first. So 9 minus 12. Opposite signs, I subtract. So 12 minus 9 is 3. I take the sign of the larger number, which is 12, so it's negative. Bring down your absolute value. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Okay, so they gave us the value of P, so we're going to plug them in right there. And remember, you have to use parentheses, so that's 4, and then my P is 3 squared minus 3, right. So everywhere where I saw the parenthesis, or the P, I just have a parenthesis with the 3 inside of it. Okay, so now if you think about PEMDAS, P stands for parentheses. I have parentheses, but there's nothing to simplify within the parentheses, so I just keep going. So I have nothing to simplify within the parentheses, so now I need to go to exponents. So exponents is right here. 3 squared is not 6, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3 times 3, which is 9. Bring everything else down. So now I'm done with exponents. I've got multiplication and division. So I need to multiply left to right. 4 times 9 is 36. So I've got 36 minus 3 times 3. So I still have multiplication. That's a negative 3 times a positive 3, which is a negative 9. Drop down your 36. And then 36 minus 9 is 27. Final answer. Okay, they gave me 2 values. So I've got D and I've got E. So I plug in. So I've got parentheses, 3 minus 7 squared. So 3 minus 7, opposite signs, I subtract. So 3 minus 7 is, or 4 minus 7 is 3. I take the sign of the larger number. And now that's negative 4 squared, which is the same thing as negative 4 times negative 4, because we have to do negative 4 twice. So a negative and a negative is a positive. 4 times 4 is 16. Alrighty. Once again, I plug in using parentheses. So A is negative 5 squared minus B is 6 squared plus 5. So I'm going to write PEMDAS. So I have parentheses, but there's nothing to simplify within the parentheses, so the P's done. So let's go ahead and take care of these exponents. That's negative 5 times negative 5. So a negative and a negative is a positive. 5 times 5 is 25. Still have exponents, so I got to take care of those right here. So that's 6 times 6, which is 36. Bring everything else down. Okay, so I'm done with exponents, I'm done with multiplication, I'm done with division. So now I'm just going to add and subtract left to right. So 25 minus 36 is a negative 11 plus 5. Opposite signs, I subtract. 11 minus 5 is 6. I take the sign of the larger number. One more. By the way, the good news is for evaluating expressions, you get to use a calculator. So you may use the calculator on your practice problems. This is from now on, unless I specifically tell you, you may use a calculator. So when you come in on Monday morning, or when you come in for next class, grab your calculator, or grab a calculator. All right, so I plug in -2 squared minus 4 times 1 over 6. All right, if we have complex fractions, which just means there's stuff happening up top and there's stuff happening down bottom, you take the top first. So I'm just going to take this to the side real quick. Okay, so within that, I'm going to do PEMDAS. So I have parentheses, but there's nothing to simplify within the parentheses. So I go to E, which is exponents. Remember, this is -2 times -2, which is a +4. I'm done with, here, let's write it. Done with parentheses, done with exponents. I go to multiplying and dividing. So -4 times 1 is -4. And 4 minus 4 is 0. So on top we've got 0. On bottom we have 6. I don't know if you've noticed this, but in my class there's an OK sign. And it's okay to have 0 on top because that just equals 0. So anything, 0 over anything is 0. Final answer. Once again, you can use a calculator on this, so please use your calculator to your advantage.